Hi everyone and welcome to my channel Romance Rides. Today I'm going to show you the 2024, the latest version of Chevrolet Traverse. Let's go. So Chevrolet Traverse or Chevy Traverse, this is the new generation for 2024 model year. GM has updated this model as well as the Buick Enclave and GMC Acadia. So this is like the base version from all the General Motors lineup. The new design, new wheels, new engine. I'm going to show you all of that in details in a few minutes, but from exterior perspective you can see the total update. It's a complete rehaul of the previous generation, so we don't see any, like the only shared thing probably it's a profile, so it's still a huge 3-row 7 or 8-seat SUV that provides a lot of cargo room, a lot of room for people, for kids, 3 rows, decent comfort. I'm going to test it, I'm going to show you that, and I think from an exterior perspective, everyone has its own tastes, right? But I think my personal point of view here, it still looks very familiar to those who are familiar with the previous generation. It's still a classic look, even though the headlights, they're still down, so they did not move it up. So it's still down like a pre-facelift previous generation model. 18-inch wheels provide decent comfort, as I mentioned. The doors, they actually cover completely the door frame, the door sills, and I really like how the tail lights look. So yeah, and also quadro exhaust tips, looks great. And I also like these LED tail lights. They remind me of those of Audi vehicles. They look very rich, very saturated, so it doesn't look very cheap, to be honest, although it's a second model from the base LS trim. So I think from exterior perspective, that's about it. Let me tell you about the engine specs and let's go and have it for a test drive. Engine specs, this the new generation now, the Chevrolet discontinued the previous 3.6 natural aspirated V6, which produced 310 horsepower and around 280 pound-feet of torque. Now it's across the lineup, this is the only single engine option available, which is 2.5 turbocharged engine, which produces 328 horsepower, 320 pound-feet of torque, which is around 440, 450 newton meters of torque. So it's good for 0 to 60 for about 7 seconds, I would say. All base model, I mean not the base, but all models, they come standard with as a front-wheel drive if you want to get an all-wheel drive as an option, or you can opt in for a Z71 trim, which has more ground clearance. The standard ground clearance is 7.5 inches. The Z71 has actually 1.2 inch more ground clearance. It also has a two couplings in all-wheel drive, so which provide a better grip and a better dynamic torque split between the rear wheels. So that model comes standard with all-wheel drive. Other models, they have like a regular coupling to engage the rear axle. So from engine specs, like the head and the block, they're all aluminum. And yeah, that's about it. So it's more torque, it's more horsepower, and it's made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission, like a conventional torque converted transmission. The cabin is fully updated. It's a fully digital gauge cluster. It's 11.2 inches. It's 17.7 infotainment system, which provides great visibility. So huge icons here. Everything is really easy to see, easy to navigate. Your HVAC controls, they have physical knobs here and buttons. What else do we have here? Yeah, everything else, obviously, it's Android-based, Android automotive-based infotainment system. It's wireless, as I remember, it's wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. It's Google Voice Assistant. It's Google-based Maps integrated here. It's adaptive steering, adaptive cruise control is available. Rain sense and wiper available. Automatic high beam and low beam assist, it's available. No panel roof in the LT version of this car. Cloth seats. No leather seats, no sunroof, no panel roof, no ventilated seats, no heads-up display, and yeah, that's about it. It's super rainy here in Florida, that's why I'm in the car, but comfort, the sitting position is really comfortable. I would say the bolstering is not that huge, and the seat itself, the cushion part is a bit shorter, I would say. I'm 6.1, so I would like to have like a slightly longer cushion here. Everything else is really good aside from this piano black, which will be scratched, and a lot of fingerprints here. Wireless phone charger is available, although I don't know, I'm not sure whether it works like in other cars where it really overheats your phone. Automatic climate control, you can turn it on, turn it off. You can also turn it on, turn it off the infotainment screen. So for example, during nighttime driving, it doesn't distract you. A few modes available, additional information, and full screen Google Maps is available. So that's really cool. Let's go to the second row and third row. The second row and third row, so it's almost 90-degree opening from the exterior standpoint. When you're gonna get into the car, like one touch lever here, you can get into the third row actually. So in order to fold it up, you need to pull that latch. So I've already been there, so I would say my height is 6.1, so basically I can see there relatively comfortably, I would say, but it won't be a problem for kids, for teenagers, I would say. So for a few hundred of miles, that should be really good. So you touch this lever once again, and you seat here. So we have a captain chair here. It's not a bench seat, although, as I remember, bench seat can be available. My sitting position is really comfortable here. Even though I'm 6.1, I can comfortably sit behind myself. So the front seat is positioned for my height, for my driver position. This is the third climate control zone. It's a fully flat floor, which is really nice, even though this car can be optioned with all-wheel drive, so which means the drive shaft will be underneath the car. But GM, and particularly Chevrolet, has managed to make this almost, it's not almost, it's actually flat, the flat floor. Cup holders here, map pockets here. The ceiling is black, no sunroof, no penny roof, LED lights here. For third row occupants, you have charging ports, you have cup holders, and that's about it. Also, the trunk is huge. If you can take a look, if you can fold the back seats, the third row seats down, you can see you will have a lot of space for refrigerator, for washing machine, for everything. A lot of boxes, suitcases. It's very, very practical car, I would say. For family of 3, 4, 5, 7 people, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 seaters. If you have a bench seat here, it'll be 8 seaters car, which is really great. And yeah, I think now it's time to go over the price and take it for a drive. From the price perspective, the car the base version, which is LS, starts from $37,600, if I remember, before destination. So, 35 actually, 36, so before destination. So with destination at the dealership lot, it will be around $37,500. Next trim, which is the LT, the one I'm sitting in, it's actually the second trim available in the Traverse lineup for 2024. It starts from $40K before destination and handling charge. So the total would be 42 grand before taxes, obviously. It's still a front-wheel drive, but it provides more options. It still no penny roof, still no leather seats, still no heads-up display, no ventilated seats. That's not available. No heated second row seats in this trim, but everything else is standard. 360 camera, that's really great. What else? Yeah, I think you can option all-wheel drive. Next trim would be Z71. Z71 provides more ground clearance, very sophisticated rear axle couplings. So there are two couplings that can dynamically split the torque from the engine between the rear wheels. So it kind of like a torque vector and active torque distribution system. That trim Z71 starts from 46 before handling destination, so it's about 48, right before 50 grand. And the top trim is RS. RS trim comes standard with penny roof, with adaptive, with a heads-up display, ventilated seats, and a few more creature comforts. That trim starts from $54,000 before destination and before handling charges. So I think the sweet spot here is the LT model, 360 camera, 3-row seats, captain chairs. I think it's a lot of value for that money. So basically, if you don't want to spend extra money, you can spend like less than 40K, of course, before taxes, for a 3-row family SUV. I think that's a good value proposition. All right, let's go. It's super rainy here in Florida. Not the best time for a test drive, but ultimately I'm sharing this test drive. Hopefully you find it useful. So front-wheel drive Chevrolet Traverse 2024. Yeah, this excessive intrusive noise coming from the engine, that's the only drawback of this car during acceleration. The lane centering system actually helps you because you don't have to engage the adaptive cruise control in order to do that. Yeah, it's helping you to make sure that the car is really centered. So it's raining now. What about excessive sound or noise or cabin insulation? Cabin insulation is decent. I wouldn't say this is the quietest vehicle I have ever driven, but definitely no problem here whatsoever. In real life driving, it provides, yeah, decent noise insulation. Sitting comfort is really nice because they are not sleek. The seats are not sleek, so they are not the sleek, but I meant to say slippery. They're not too slippery. So even though it's regular cloth seats, still you have a lot of grip. So it's comfort. Here in Florida, it makes sense because they won't be super overheated. Yep, let's go. Let's merge. Merging power. Yeah. Yeah, merging performance is decent as well. So 328 horsepower, I think that's more than enough for this type of car, especially a family SUV. But this intrusive noise coming from the engine, it's kind of distracting you sometimes. You feel that something is wrong with the engine itself, but nothing is wrong. Very harsh, rough road here, a lot of patches. But yeah, it just eats up everything. You don't feel a lot. You don't feel a lot of extra information on the steering wheel. It's still very soft, very comfy suspension. But I would advise you to turn the music, to turn the volume up, just to tone down this extra noise coming from the engine. Other than that, it's super comfortable car. Front-wheel drive, obviously, if you live somewhere in a climate zone with inclement weather, probably makes sense to opt in for all-wheel drive. Other than that, I think it should be enough. Let's have a quick acceleration. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, a lot of wheel spin, obviously. Almost 40 miles an hour. I mean, that's not bad. That's not the car you're actually going to buy just to make sure that it has like lots of performance or acceleration or whatever. So this is a family car. It has enough power for passing, for merging. So it's super comfy. It eats up all these bumps. There are no distractors except for this excessive engine noise, and that's about it. I mean, all the inputs, they are super clear. They are super predictable, I would say, which is very important here. And the comfort position, the sitting position is very comfortable, I would say. My height is 6.1. The only probably minor drawback here is the sitting cushion itself is on a shorter side. I would love to have a bit longer cushion. Yeah, but in terms of readability of the digital gauge cluster, no problem here. You can have full map here or full speedometer, so whatever you want. It's actually very, very pleasing car. Not a lot to complain about, to be honest. It's super fair, super clear driving experience here without any pretensions to be a premium or luxury. So for those intentions, probably makes sense to buy Buick Enclave or GMC Acadia, or Acadia, the new one, which is also a larger one compared to the previous vehicle. Yeah, and if you have any questions, guys, this is Chevrolet, Ferman Chevrolet here in Brandon, Florida. So if you're interested, please give a call to Gabriel. I'm not affiliated with this dealership, guys. It's just my opportunity to get to know the car and share this car and driving dynamics and my other impressions with you. So let's park it here. a lot of inventory, the new Blazer EV, Traverse, Silverado, and many more. So guys, stay tuned. Actually, I want to show you the 360 camera. So it's very convenient to park the car using this 360 camera system. The resolution is super crisp, so this has improved a lot. Alright, so after the test drive, what I can say, the car is super comfort, the suspension is super comfort, it's not stiff at all, it's very comfort, so it eats up all the potholes, the bumps, everything. You don't feel a lot on the steering wheel actually. So for those people who are looking for a family SUV, three-row family SUV without super detailed information from the road, for example, if the road is super like high granular asphalt, a lot of patches and bumps and all that stuff, you want let me check the lights. You will not want to get all this information coming to the steering wheel, basically, which means this is unnecessary information for you. So it's not a sports car. That's why it's super isolated steering wheel. For those people who are looking for like connectedness feeling, probably maybe a problem, maybe not. But otherwise, the seats are super comfort. A few rattles, a few squeaks because the car was sitting under the direct sunlights during the whole day. So infotainment system is super snappy, quick, it's responsive, but probably take a look at the security, not the security, the privacy settings, because this is Android-based automotive system, based on Android Automotive. So it can share data with Google and third-party companies. So make sure that you disable that sharing data. But it obviously, ultimately, it's up to you. So it's very comfortable car. It's quiet. The only complaint is that the engine noise is super intrusive. So it's not very pleasant. It's super intrusive. So under full acceleration, you clearly hear that extra noise from the engine. So the firewall probably is not super insulated. So I would say other than the engine noise, it's super quiet, super comfort. The transmission, sometimes it can be a little bit jerky, especially when downshifting or sometimes upshifting. Other than that, it's very comfortable car. It's powerful enough for a three-row SUV family size. I think it's a good value proposition for what it is. But if you're looking for ultimate car hauler and probably considering like a hybrid, for example, then probably you may want to consider a Grand Highlander or something like that. So I hope you like this video. Please subscribe. Please hit the share button, hit the like button. If you like, you can share this video. Yeah, and just make sure that you have the bell icon click to turn the notifications on. Once again, please support my channel. I really like what I do. I'm a car enthusiast. I'm just sharing what I like. If you're interested in this car, please contact Gabriel at Ferman Chevrolet in Brandon, Tampa Bay area, Florida. Thank you for watching. See you guys next time.